Okay, all right, looks like we have a full house here today, guys. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you so much for our fine partners for hosting me here today. I'm Kevin Cochrane. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Vultr, and super excited today to talk to you about how we're going to help you scale your global production deployment of AI native applications with Vultr and Lablup. So first, before we begin, you might not have heard of us, but let me first of all take a little moment to tell you a little bit about who Vultr is. Vultr was launched in 2014, and Vultr is a hyperscaler. We meet all of the core technical requirements of a hyperscaler and serve as an alternative to AWS, GCP, or Azure as part of a multi-cloud strategy. Our claim to fame is having the highest price to performance in the industry. We're going to deliver core cloud compute at a lower cost with better performance, with the same security and compliance, and the same global reach. Today we serve over 300,000 customers across 32 global data center regions across all 6 continents, reaching 90% of the world's population in between 2 and 40 milliseconds of latency. And here at Vultr, in particular over the past number of years, we've been really focused on reinventing core cloud compute. In this day and age of AI, we need to rethink all of our enterprise applications. We need to move from cloud native engineering to AI native engineering. We need to move beyond just core CPU-based compute, and we need to move to GPU-based compute. We need to move all of our enterprise applications onto a new cloud foundation, which is the combination of both core cloud and cloud GPU, and we need new models to unlock value, and we need to do that with incredible efficiency and incredible performance. It starts with core cloud compute. And here at Vultr, as I mentioned, we have long been the price to performance leader. We're letting you save anywhere between 50 and 90% on the cost of your core cloud compute, so you can take those savings and invest it in GPUs and new AI initiatives. Most recently, we have reinvented the game again in core cloud compute with our new VX1 offering, which changes the unit economics for core cloud compute by delivering 82% better performance per dollar for your core cloud native workloads. Now, why does this matter? This matters because in this day and age of AI, we need to invest in new initiatives. We need to invest in experimenting with new AI native applications. We need to unlock value in core cloud operations to free up resources for innovation. And here with VX1, we're now changing the game. 33% lower cost than Amazon Graviton. 33% lower cost than Amazon Graviton. No porting of your code. 23% better performance. 82% better performance per dollar. Across any cloud provider, across any compute plan, you're going to get better performance at a lower cost, price guaranteed from Vultr. But this only matters when you're coupling all of your core cloud compute across 32 global data center regions with cloud GPU. Think about it. The mobile application that you have on your phone, there's application code running. And that application code is running somewhere close to a data center nearby here in St. Louis, so you can have the best performance and the best application experience. If we're going to rebuild that mobile application to put an agent at your service as part of that mobile experience, that agent also needs to be inferring a model that's as closely located to you here in St. Louis as possible. We believe here at Vultr that GPUs need to be co-resident with CPUs wherever you're doing model development, model training, as well as, most importantly, model delivery for an end user application. This is what we talk about in terms of reinventing cloud compute. We need to rethink the entire compute stack to put GPUs at the core and to tightly couple CPUs and tightly couple GPUs and ensure you get the best price to performance. We do that on the GPU side by offering you freedom, choice, and flexibility to best match the GPU you need for your workload. We're the only global provider that offers you the choice of GPUs from both NVIDIA and AMD. We are always first to market with the latest generation AMD GPUs, as well as first to market with the latest generation NVIDIA GPUs. In particular, on the AMD side, we're now offering the AMD 355X. This GPU is optimized for running large numbers of models on single GPUs so that you can take advantage of the high bandwidth memory. So for example, if you're actually deploying multiple agents as part of a swarm to improve your customer experience, being able to run more models in a single GPU reduces the infrastructure cost for actually running inference in the models. What we find is many customers tend to have a preference for the AMD 355X for their trained models that they're deploying to production. Simply put, the price to performance leads to superior unit economics when you're rolling out multiple applications, multiple models across a distributed, decentralized, global runtime environment. Moreover, we also offer the latest generation NVIDIA GPUs. These are perfect for customers that are optimizing for performance. NVIDIA is the performance leader in GPUs. In particular, we tend to find our customers love to run large-scale NVIDIA training clusters as centralized clusters for their data science teams to schedule and run all of their training workloads. In the Vultr view, again, we want you to optimize price to performance. This may mean leveraging a large-scale NVIDIA GPU cluster, optimizing performance to gain maximum productivity for your data science teams running their training runs, as well as deploying that trained model to an inference clusters in Europe, in India, in South America that are running on AMD MI355X, where the performance is less, but the price is dramatically lower, so you get superior unit economics when you're actually running multiple applications. In the Vultr world, we want you to optimize for the entire portfolio so you can maximize your budget to transform your enterprise. Now, we do this also in conjunction with our partners. At the end of the day, it takes a village to help you as enterprise leaders rebuild your enterprise application portfolio, to rethink how you go to market and to rethink your customer experience. And of course, the most important partner that we work with is right here where I'm standing today with Lablup. The important thing that we do with Lablup is when you're building your scale-up architectures, your large-scale training clusters, for example, on our NVIDIA B200s, the most important thing is that you need to unlock and utilization of those GPUs to maximize the productivity of your data science teams that are scheduling their training load. What we love Lablup for is providing the orchestration layer to best optimize the utilization of the GPUs so that you can actually get the best performance and the best uptime and the best availability for everything that you're doing on a centralized training cluster. But moreover, what we love Lablup for is because it goes even farther. Because with all of your inference workloads, when you're deploying multiple models and multiple agents across multiple applications in a distributed runtime environment, orchestration is how you gain efficiency. Orchestration is how you gain the performance edge. Orchestration is how you get the cost savings that you need so that you don't break the bank for the new applications you're rolling out, so you can save resources for further innovation. If orchestration is important in the training cluster, and that's what we've been all focused on, orchestration in the training cluster for the past 3 years, I'm here to tell you today that what Lablup does is goes beyond orchestration in the training cluster. Lablup does something unique that only Lablup does, which is in the distributed inference clusters running in Vultr, you're going to unlock greater efficiency, greater performance by leveraging Lablup for orchestration. And that is why we're so excited to partner with Lablup here today, because combining Lablup's intelligent orchestration with our NVIDIA B200s, with our AMD MI355X, across training clusters, across inference clusters, is the fastest way to get time to value, to get compliance across all of our 32 global operating regions, and to make it dead simple so that all of your AI engineers don't need to worry about the complexity of scheduling and optimizing the running of the models, because that's what backend takes care of for you on the back end. And here at Vultr, we're really focused on a very unique audience because we want to industrialize not only the scale up of centralized training clusters, we want to industrialize the scale out production deployment of hundreds of models. And that means taking a platform engineering approach, taking a systems level approach where all of your artifacts, all of your pipelines are pre-built, pre-wired, so that your engineers can do what engineers do. Your engineers can innovate. They don't have to worry about plumbing. They don't have to worry about reinventing the wheel. This is what a systems level approach does. This is why you take a platform engineering approach. And the most critical element for a platform engineering approach to AI engineering is orchestration at the core. Orchestration at the core. Orchestration takes place in two realms. Number one, you need to be able to have infrastructure as code that can spin up all of your composable cloud resources, all of your accelerated compute, all of your accelerated storage, all of your accelerated networking across both CPU and GPU. And you also need to have infrastructure as a code that's instrumenting all of your pipeline to take all of your containerized microservices, your containerized data, and all of your containerized model and bringing them to those compute clusters. But the other level of orchestration is not just at the infrastructure as a code level. That's what we do at Vultr. We're the best in that. We basically invented that for AI infrastructure, bar none. But there's another layer. It's the orchestration of what happens when the models are running in production. And how do you run them the most efficiently to make the best use of resources to get the maximum value? That is the orchestration provided by backend. It is the other half of the equation. It's why we're here today, because you can't do one without the other. And this unlocks tremendous value because when you're actually looking to run or orchestrate your model, you also need to remember you have to do this on a global basis. And when you're working on a global basis, you have to take into account different things related to security, related to compliance, and most importantly, related to sovereignty. Because when you're orchestrating your workloads, you can't just orchestrate your models in one central location. You have to orchestrate what models are running in UK, what models are running in India. You need to make best use of available resources in India versus best use of available resources in the UK. Compliance matters more than ever. Sovereignty of your data, sovereignty of your cloud infrastructure matters more than ever. And when you're moving to sovereign cloud, the critical thing is within each region, you absolutely need to maximize utilization because you're now having more clusters than ever. This is the problem that backend solves. This is why, from a security, compliance, and sovereignty perspective, we couldn't be more proud to work with the Lablup team here today. And just to give you an example of how this works in action is, as I mentioned, we provide all of the composable infrastructure worldwide here at Vultr with the best unit economics, superior price to performance over any cloud provider. You give me your cloud bill from anyone else, I'll tell you how much money you're going to save, bar none. I'll set you up with an environment for free. You test it out yourself. Seeing is believing. We've never met a customer that we didn't save the max amount of money and deliver better performance. But it's also the AI orchestration on top that unlocks the value of the composable infrastructure on the back end. And how does it do it? Pretty simple. So, if you look at one of our existing customers that's looking to fine-tune the deployment of their LLMs on our NVIDIA clusters, the actual performance gains are absolutely amazing. When you look at prior to implementing backend and then after implementing backend, 4 times faster throughput, 6 times improvement in overall efficiency. This is real value. This is the value of orchestration. This is the value of orchestration, again, not just for your training clusters, but for your global inference clusters across both NVIDIA GPUs and AMD GPUs. So again, we're super excited to be here today. Super excited that you were all able to join us today. And the only thing I encourage you to do is think critically about your cloud infrastructure, how you're going to reinvent that stack, how you're going to get the greatest price to performance, how you're going to get the best utilization. And the only way to do it is having orchestratable, composable cloud infrastructure from Vultr tied to orchestratable, composable AI infrastructure from Backend and Lablup. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, question.